Listen to your favorite radio personalities long enough and you start thinking of them as family. This morning, Serena Altschul dials us into a radio show where the personalities don't just sound like family, they are.
Live from Los Angeles, California, Portland, Oregon, and Moscow, Russia, it's the Satellite Sisters.
We are the Satellite Sisters, and yes, we are real sisters. I know what you're thinking.
Meet the Dolans, Leah, Liz, and Sheila in Los Angeles, Monica in Portland, and that's Julie in her apartment in Moscow.
Julie, you were not with us last week because you were sick, so we didn't get a chance.
Liz, it was killing me. I had laryngitis. I so wanted to interrupt and disagree with you all through the show, and I couldn't say a single thing.
5 sisters, ranging in age from 39 to 48, who get together Saturday mornings for what they like to call conversation radio.
Julie has some fantastic ideas for getting out of horribly boring business meetings.
Wait till you hear, sisters.
Julie's the oldest.
If you got together with your friends and you talked about a range of things, from the events of the days to very personal things, that feeling that you have after a very satisfying conversation with good friends, I think that's what we want to give to our listeners.
Connectedness.
Yeah.
Hear, hear, hear. It's that long-distance connection that's come to define a satellite sister. Monica is the second youngest.
It's really the person you turn to in your life when something great happens and something terrible happens. It's the person you laugh with, it's the person you hang out with. A lot of times it's the person you have a history with, so it doesn't need to be your sister.
I did want to get your opinion on the 9/11 Commission and what you see from over there in Russia.
It was Liz, she says she's the bossy one, who came up with the idea and pitched it to her sisters at a mud bath weekend 8 years ago.
They blame me for that. There was a moment where I just thought, you know, how come there's nothing on the radio that sounds the way friends sound when they talk to each other, particularly female friends?
And what made you think, oh, we're qualified, we can do that?
Overconfidence. It's just, I mean, I really...
Or naivete.
Yeah.
Also, if we had known anything really about the radio business at all, we, of course, never would have started this.
And you all felt like there was sort of a vacuum on radio for a show created by women, for women, about women.
Well, no.
No. Leon's the sassy one.
We didn't think that way. Liz thought that way. The rest of us hadn't really looked at the media landscape and where's the vacuum? No, the rest of us were vacuuming, you know?
After years of planning and convincing themselves and others that there was an appetite for a talk radio show hosted by 5 inexperienced women, the Satellite Sisters debuted 4 years ago on public radio. The Saturday morning show eventually moved to ABC Radio, where the format now includes live call-ins, with topics ranging from the war in Iraq to how to negotiate a raise.
I think a lot of women think, like, I'm doing a good job, my boss should see what a good job I'm doing, and he or she should reward me for that good job.
Oh, grow up. Well, have any of us ever done well getting a raise? Monica, how about you?
Oh, no, of course not. I'm way too intimidated. But Liz, I did successfully negotiate a cut in pay.
Oh, okay.
So for people who think that you guys are on doing sort of like women chit-chat, you know, like, you know, snappy banter about, you know, Botox and pedicures, like, that's not what the show is about.
So not.
It's not. It's not.
Well, maybe a little.
And up next, the essential question of our time. Would you ever really get plastic surgery?
The sisters, who grew up in Connecticut, lead very different lives. Sheila, divorced with a grown daughter, is a school teacher. Monica, single, also works full-time as a nurse and a medical researcher. Julie, who has 2 college-age sons, left her career in academics when her husband was transferred overseas, first to Bangkok, then to Moscow. Liz, single and the former marketing director for Nike, is one of the main hosts for the show.
Hot one.
Along with Leon, a writer, married and the mother of 2. Leon's the youngest.
Go! Go! I think we relate to each other better as adults. You know, I see what my sisters have accomplished now, whereas if we didn't work together, I probably wouldn't recognize any of their skills. I wouldn't give them credit for anything, frankly.
We have a very unique relationship in that we're business partners, but that we're also really good friends. I mean, you know, my sisters are my best friends, and you call your best friend for everything.
Do you fight? Do you ever fight? Do you argue, bicker? Do things ever get, like, icky?
No, the beauty of having 5 sisters is that when you're a little miffed at one, you just go talk to another sister about her behind her back.
Humor is a big part of their show and their lives.
We grew up in a big Irish Catholic family. There are also 3 brothers. So if you don't have anything funny to say, well, you might as well not say it. I told my sister Monica first in Portland, I said, guess what? I'm going to get married to Barrick. And she looked at me, she's like, you barely know him. And I said, well, I have the rest of my life to get to know him.
The Satellite Sisters have become something of a multimedia industry. There's a comedy club sister act the 3 Southern California Dolans do. Also a book and a column in the Oprah magazine.
All right, 1975. Sheila and Monica are asked not to return to Catholic school because they are unpleasant.
No, I'll explain. No, I mean, we were mainly just unpleasant to one another.
The Dolans say Sheila, although she's the middle sister, is a little off-center.
Sheila?
Oh, you know, I'm always looking for a way to kick up my exercise routine a little bit.
I didn't actually know that
Yeah,
show.
but there's a thing that's been out on the market. Have you seen it? Heavy hoop. It's a hula hoop.
Heavy hoop?
It's a hula hoop that's weighted.
Monica was the most reluctant to go on the radio. She staffs the pet desk.
Canine breaking news, Liz. You know how I love this. Do you look like your dog, or does your dog resemble you? Well, I'm not in every segment, and that's fine with me. I mean, I only have so much time during the week to prepare, so they let me in. Sometimes my mother says, at the end of the show, she listens to every show, she said, why don't they let you talk more, Monica?
And it's not just Mom who's tuning in. The show is carried on 85 stations and is heard by about 1 million people a week.
Okay, we have a question from Dawn on line 2. Hi, Dawn. Welcome to Satellite Sisters.
Perhaps surprisingly, based on the calls and mail the sisters get, men make up a large percentage of their audience.
And I have a performance review coming up, and I'd like to be able to...
Every man who writes in says, I know I'm the only man who listens to your show, but... So we have a special term for those guys. We call them Satellite Misters.
And what about the secrets of the Satellite Sisterhood? Are there any things that are just off limits?
We don't talk about our childhood stories.
You don't?
No, we just made the decision that that's not really what people are interested in. We like to talk about our modern lives, what's going on in the modern world. There's so many fascinating things going on right now. Do people really want to hear about the time Julie went out in a rowboat with her dorky boyfriend when she was 13?
There's never a family event when they don't mention this and don't get a big laugh at it.
So what about the future?
So what do we got on the show next week, Corny Cole, producer extraordinaire? Whether we're radio show hosts or booksellers or, you know, nightclub performers, we're always going to be sisters. So the rest of that stuff can come and go, and it would be fine. Except for the radio show. I really love doing the radio show. Sheila, what is the question we are most frequently asked?
Are you real sisters?
And what is the answer?
Some of us are.
At this point, how many more years do you expect? 5, 10, 2? Would you like to do other things?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm in for the long run. Yes, absolutely.
It's a good gig.
I got nothing better to do. I can't.
But they have lots more to say.
Sisters, everybody have a good week. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Liam.
And don't forget, sisters, don't forget, call your satellite sister.